Wonder weapons are key features in every single zombies map. It's what makes the player feel powerful, what makes the maps fun and unique. And in this video, I'll be explaining to you guys every single wonder weapon in my opinion from worst to best. Like this ray gun here. Enjoy. Ladies and gents, spanks and things, how we doing today? Today I will be ranking all 15 wonder weapons from worst to best, and they will have 3 quotas that they will need to fulfill. Number 1, how are they in early/late game? Number 2, how will these wonder weapons get me out of sticky situations? And are they able to get me out of sticky situations? And number 3, how are they against elites and special enemies? The only time I've ever done a ranking video was my sword ranking video, which I'll leave in the top right corner of your screen. But I will be talking about a lot of weapons in this video, so if you guys want more in-depth detail about each of the swords and their incantations, go ahead and watch that video. But if you guys do not agree with me with some of these rankings on these wonder weapons, you say, Spank! Spank! What are you thinking? Are you out of your mind? Then let me know in the comments section, please. Please be easy on me. I can only take so much. Now, without further ado, let's get to number 15. The Base Staff of Ice. This wonder weapon, you have to put the most work into getting. It is the biggest piece of turd I have ever put my hands on in my whole life. I'd be double dog damn if I were ever to be caught using this weapon after this review. This mother lover sucks. Let me explain to you guys why this weapon sucks. It just does. Number 1, this weapon only lasts to about round 26 before it becomes a 2-shot kill. Speaking of which, each shot out of this staff of ice kills 3 zombies. No, sorry. It freezes 3 zombies. Now let's do some simple math here. This staff of ice can hold up to 6 shots. Each of the shots killing 3 enemies. Doing some simple multiplication, there's 18 zombies that it can kill. And this staff of ice shoots so damn slow. And oh boy, put this weapon up against a doppelgast, an electric mimic, or an amalgam, and you will be loading up your next game. This weapon is ass. For the amount of work you have to put into this piece of shit, get this thing off my screen. Get it off! The Bastard Sword. Now this is night and day from this base staff of ice. The only thing that you have to do to get this weapon is wait until round 10 until this helmeted zombie spawns in. You kill him, you get the pin, you slap that pin into the statue, and then boom, the Bastard Sword. Quite literally the easiest wonder weapon to get in the game, if you can even call it that. This sword has 2 abilities. One is its main ability, which is just slicing and dicing, and the other one is a parry mechanic, where you can stop incoming damage from enemies, and you can parry back a bug's spit. You can also pair the sword with the perk Melee Macchiato to make it that much better. Now, I thought this sword would have done unlimited damage until I tested it out and found out that this sword is a 2-hit kill on round 21. This weapon is also terrible against amalgams and doppelgasts. Really nothing more to say about this weapon other than it's better than the base staff of ice. Moving on to number 13. The Ray Gun. Guys, I don't think you know how much it pains me to put this ray gun, this most iconic weapon in all of gaming, at number 13 on this list. So low. Now, the biggest reason why this ray gun is so low is that from now until the number 1 spot, all of the wonder weapons are able to do everything that the ray gun does and then some. But that does not mean that the ray gun is a bad wonder weapon. Let's explain all the good things about this wonder weapon. It is very good in early rounds against elite enemies, zombies, special enemies. It is overall a fantastic gun from round 1 up to the mid 30s. It is also an extremely easy gun to use, and it's very good progressing through side Easter eggs on the main Easter egg. And the final good thing about this wonder weapon is in fact that it is accessible on every single map. That being said, let's talk about the negatives. If you do not have PhD flopper, this weapon will hurt you, but not that much, but still it does damage to the player. And the drop off on this weapon is to the lower to mid 40s. I just can't believe that the ray gun is at number 13. I could have moved it down. This is my list. This is my list. Why did I do this? And it's because I have to speak facts. I have to tell the people how it is. And the ray gun, average. Moving on to number 12. The Ray Gun Mark II-P. I am so sick of talking about ass and average weapons. This variant of the Ray Gun Mark II is the shotgun variant, and it is so painfully average. And it actually screws you over in the higher rounds. Let me talk about the good first. The good thing about this quote-unquote shotgun variant is that the range on this thing is almost as good as a sniper. Usually shotguns shine when you're at point blank range, and that's when you would accomplish the most damage. However, this weapon's range is unlimited. This weapon also does extremely high damage against elites and special enemies, but there are so many things about this weapon that I do not like at all. Number 1 has to be its main ability. For every zombie you kill, there is a chance that one of the zombies will drop an orb that you yourself can step in and become immune to any sort of damage that is thrown upon you. This gives you a chance to recoup or to shoot a whole bunch of zombies without any sort of interruptions. But as soon as the force field vanishes, it does a little knockback animation, knocking all the zombies around you to the floor, allowing you to have some sort of escape. But if you were trying to take this gun into higher rounds, this ability screws you over. If this ability procs, it will knock over your entire horde like your grandma getting run over by a reindeer. It is so inconvenient, and it knocks your flow of your gameplay, and it just is such a pain in the ass. Another terrible thing about this ability is the fact that the force field drops where you killed the zombie, meaning you will have to A, run straight into your horde and hopefully you make it to your force field, or B, you will have to waste several seconds trying to make your way towards the force field, leaving you only a few more seconds of actual play time within the force field. Something else about this wonder weapon that is absolutely criminal is its rate of fire. This thing shoots so slow, even with double tap, which doubles your rate of fire. Not even double tap could save the rate of fire on this weapon. Even with the augment that increases its rate of fire speed. And the drop off on this weapon, criminal. You have a terrible ability that hinders your gameplay, terrible damage against special and elite enemies, hell, even zombies are soaking in all of this damage. This weapon, average. Moving on to number 11. Please, can I please talk about something good? The Caliburn. Now we're starting to get to the better wonder weapons, but this is by far the second worst sword in the game, and for reasons that a wonder weapon shouldn't have. But let's talk about the good for a second. The good is that this sword does unlimited damage from round 1 to round 999. Like the Bastard Sword, this sword can parry, can also swipe zombies and kill 2 at a time per swipe, and this also has 2 more abilities, a passive ability and a special ability. After getting a certain amount of kills with this sword, you will have charged this sword up to either A, keep using it and use its passive ability, or B, use its main special ability. Now, what is the passive ability? It is Napalm Burst. This can either be really good or really bad, and it all depends on what kind of augments you use. Personally, I think this is the worst passive ability out of all the swords. No special or elite enemy is weak to Napalm Burst, so this kind of sucks, so that hinders its position on the list. But let's talk about the main ability. The main ability is this beautiful, sexy fireball that engulfs your screen in flames and wipes out every enemy that is unfortunately in the blast zone. This ability is the most satisfying ability in the game, but unfortunately, it can be a little tricky to use. Now, I know what you guys are about to say. You guys are gonna be like, Spank, what are you talking about? How can you miss with this thing? Well, coming from a guy that has reached round 100 twice with this sword, there have been multiple times where I have failed this special ability, causing me to recharge the sword and do it again. This sword is not good for camping and is only good for training, and once you reach those higher rounds, every single zombie, amalgam, doppelgas will be running at you in full speed, meaning charging your sword's ability and getting kills is a lot harder and you'll be taking a lot more damage, which is another hinder to this sword, is that it is in fact a sword. You have to be up close and personal to even use this thing, unless you're using its special ability, of course. Overall, this sword is good and it is also fun, but it is the worst sword out of the bunch. This wonder weapon is acceptable. Moving on to number 10. The Beam Smasher. To all of my Beam Smasher stands out there, I love you. This weapon is extremely underrated and underused. And I had reached round 100 on this map without camping, with no mutant injections, and it was probably the longest game of zombies I had ever had, which came up to around 4.5 hours. But that forced me to be stuck with this weapon for that amount of time, and I had grown to love it that much more. So right off the bat, I really like this wonder weapon solely because this is an original wonder weapon. We have never seen any wonder weapon like this on previous Call of Duties, which can either be a good thing or a bad thing, but for me in this case, it's a good thing. You have 2 firing modes, one of them being a laser beam, which doesn't do that much damage until you do the second ability, which slows the enemies down and weakens them, allowing you to either use your laser on your Beam Smasher, or you can use other weapons like the Ray Gun Mark II, or the Pack-a-Punch Mustang and Sally's. Another great thing about this weapon is it is actually very good against special and elite enemies, which would be the amalgams and the manglers. If you use this weapon right, you will have no problem taking care of manglers if you know where to shoot. This weapon definitely falls on the mid to upper 40s, which forces you to use a higher damage weapon, meaning that you should use the alternate firing mode on the Beam Smasher and then switch to your other weapons to finish the job. I really wish I could place this weapon higher on the list, but I can't. Like I said, I have to tell you people the facts. I cannot be biased about these sort of things. I have to say the truth, and the truth is the Beam Smasher is underrated, and I'm giving it a gold star. Moving on to number 9. What is this? Is it trivia time? Trivia time! How many special and elite enemies are in the game? Is it A, 5, B, 8, C, 6, or D, 7? The answer is C, 6. The Ray Gun Mark II-R. This would be the first weapon on the list that I would consider a camper's wet dream weapon. And let me show you this clip to prove to you why I would call this weapon a camper's wet dream weapon.
Come on, man. That's too easy.
Okay, all jokes aside, let's talk about the weapon itself. This would be considered the marksman rifle of the ray gun variants due to its incredibly slow rate of fire speed, but high in damage. Comparing this version of the ray gun Mark II to the shotgun variant of the ray gun, I would say the shotgun does many things better than this variant of the ray gun. But the fact that the ability on this ray gun Mark II is incredibly good on early rounds and can get you up to round 49 by literally throwing a decoy and shooting acid and just sitting there watching everyone die makes this gun that much better. It is very easy to use, it is high in damage in early rounds, but the drop off of this weapon is quite literally the worst drop off in any type of weapon that is on this list. The damage of the ray gun Mark II on the higher rounds is significantly lower than early rounds, of course, but you would think that it would still hold its weight, but it is actually 2 shots if the zombie is armored. It takes about 30 shots to kill an Elder Disciple if you land all critical hits, which is highly unlikely if you don't have decoys or monkeys or Ether Shroud. This weapon is also extremely hard to use if you are trying to train with this weapon. You need to be precise with a marksman rifle, and with zombies super sprinting towards you, gives you a slim chance to aim and shoot at a zombie that is full-blown sprinting towards you. But if you are smart enough with this weapon to abuse the acid ability, you could throw a decoy on this acid puddle and have the zombies stand in the puddle while you're just chilling. But it takes so many shots for you to kill a single zombie or a Doppelgast or an Elder Disciple that makes this gun on the lower end of the list. I would rate this gun as acidic as pineapple. Moving on to number 8. The Solias. Now, I feel like this is the point in the video where I'm going to get a lot of people disagreeing with me, but this is my list, alright? So let me explain why I put the Solias at number 8. But let me dissect this sword before explaining why I put this at the number 8 spot. So of course, with this sword, it has its passive ability and it has its main ability after getting enough kills charging this sword. The passive ability allows your shield to recharge after every kill you get. Its main ability, on the other hand, creates a force field around you, turning you into a blender, shredding every single zombie or anything that comes to you in an instant. All of this sounds great, and it is great on the earlier rounds. But as soon as these zombies start to super sprint towards you and deal a lot more damage towards you and your shield is when things start to become a little more difficult. So it takes about 5 kills for one of your shield slots to fully recharge. That is without getting hit. During the higher rounds, the zombies of course will be doing more damage towards you and your shield. So if you go into a horde and get your 5 kills and get your shield recharged, yes, you will get hit and you will come out from that interaction with less shield than you did before that interaction. That in itself deletes the passive ability for me. To me, that is a worthless passive ability. If I am constantly having to recharge my shield anyways, I think that passive ability is a moot point. But let's talk about its super ability. It does do infinite damage and is very good against Doppelgast and Amalgams, but there is no timer, and if you do not time it correctly, and I'm talking about when the ability finishes, you will be surrounded by zombies and you will die. The sword is definitely not a turn your brain off type of sword. You need to use these abilities very wisely and very cautiously. I have gone to round 100 with this sword, so trust me, I know. But overall, I think that the Solias is a very good weapon and is really good on early rounds. But I'm gonna have to say that this sword is mid. Moving on to number 7. The Durendal. Now, when Citadel de Mor first came out, this sword was actually my least favorite sword of the bunch. I did not like its ability. I didn't think it killed fast enough. I just didn't like anything about it. But after some hefty patches with this weapon and some changes to some augments I have for its passive ability, man, oh man, this sword is a killing machine. And on top of that, it is one of the more fun weapons to use in my opinion. Let's talk about its passive ability. Its passive ability is Dead Wire, and it is probably the best passive ability in the game due to some certain augments that make everything just electrified. It's just so fun looking around seeing lightning coming from the sky, destroying and stunning zombies around you. But its main ability is a beam of lightning that you can shoot into your horde and desecrates every single enemy within your horde. It is fantastic against doppelgas and amalgams, and it is the second fastest recharge to get all of your abilities back. So you can constantly be using your passive ability and your main ability. Pairing this sword to the Solias, with the Solias you are up close and personal with the zombies, but with this sword you are actually able to be at a safe distance to use its main ability, which is night and day for me as the playstyle that I like. This sword gets a double thumbs up. Moving on to number 6. The Ray Gun Mark II. Now, I was as shocked as you guys probably are seeing that the Ray Gun Mark II is at the number 6 spot, but I have a very solid reason for this weapon being so high on the list, and it's the fact that it is on every single map, making early games on every single map extremely easy. For example, getting your Staff of Ice on the tomb is incredibly easy now with this Mark II. Going through terminus to get your Beam Smasher is incredibly easy. And getting your golden armor plates on the tomb with this Ray Gun Mark II makes this challenge a walk in the park. Or just doing any other types of side Easter eggs or main quest Easter eggs. It destroys any and every elite and special enemy in the game. This weapon destroys hordes of enemies and is, in my opinion, probably the best secondary weapon to have, leaving your main weapon to be the main wonder weapon on that specific map. Now, another wonder weapon that is on every single map is the Ray Gun. And the Ray Gun was at the number 13 spot, while this Ray Gun is at the number 6 spot. Yes, in my opinion, it is that much of a difference. This Ray Gun Mark II makes the game so easy, and it is good up to the early 40s. Of course, this weapon shines on Shattered Veil because there are 3 different versions of this weapon on that map, but this weapon being as good as it is on every single map is just so good. This weapon gets the Father Came Home from Milk out of 10. Moving on to the top 5 wonder weapons. But before we get to the top 5, we're gonna have to guess the jingle. Guess the jingle. The game is quite simple. Guess the jingle. The jingle could be a perk machine or it could be an Easter egg song from any Call of Duty map. Here is your jingle.
When you're feeling kinda lonely and your spouse is kinda dead, I feel like curling up with someone in your empty little bed. There's danger around the corner and your love life's in decline. You'll no longer feel born with a little widow's wife.
The Ray Gun Mark II W. This is by far the best Ray Gun Mark II variant in the game, hands down, and there are so many reasons as to why this is the best. And let's start out with its rate of fire. This has the fastest rate of fire ray gun in the game, which is a great thing because it is also extremely high in damage. It melts Doppelgas, it melts Elder Disciples, it destroys zombies and armored zombies. Any enemy on the map is going to die within 3 or so shots of the Ray Gun Mark II on the higher rounds. On the lower rounds, 1 shot. This weapon also has a special ability. One of the zombies that you kill will burst into flames and kill other zombies around it. If this gun didn't kill fast enough, with an ability like this, makes it so much faster to kill anyone on the map. There's a reason that this is the ray gun variant that most people take to the final boss battle, and it is because of every single reason that I have listed prior to this. The name of this weapon, the Ray Gun Mark II W, does not lie. It is a W. Moving on to the number 4 spot. The Balmung. This is the best sword in the game. This is the second weapon on the list that I would consider a camper's wet dream weapon. If you look up any guide reaching round 999, you will see that everyone is using this sword, and they will be camping in the wine cellar, using the ability of this sword, using mutant injections, rinse and repeat. But I do not do that crap. I will train until I cannot train no mo, because I ain't no bitch. Now, why is the Balmung the best sword in the game? And that is because of its main ability. Let's talk about its passive ability first. The passive ability is Shadow Rift, and with certain augments on this ammo mod, you will be teleporting zombies from your horde back onto the horde they were just at and killing zombies on impact. That in itself doubles the speed of the round and doubles the amount of zombies that you are killing. But screw the passive ability. Let's talk about its main ability, which is the Rift. This ability takes every enemy on the map and drags them into this black hole. Even if they do not make it towards the black hole, you can kill enemies while they are being sucked towards the black hole to charge this sword's ability back up. This also drags in amalgams and doppelgas, so it gives you a chance to get a couple spanks in and make sure that they don't get back up. This sword also takes the least amount of kills to get its ability back, so you could be doing this over and over and over again, and you don't have to worry about ammo because there's no ammo on this sword. The sword's swing does infinite damage towards normal enemies, and it is just such a fun sword to use. I'm going to give this sword a black hole. The Jet Gun. We are now in top 3 territory, and from here on out I would consider all 3 of these weapons to be campers' wet dream weapon. But that does not mean that all of these weapons are bad if you want to train with them. Matter of fact, these weapons are actually one of the more easier weapons to use if you want to train. Let's talk about the Jet Gun. This gun has unlimited damage towards normal enemies and has infinite ammo, but with a catch. It only has 100 vacuum, whatever you want to call it, air in its canister, and after 14 seconds, if you use all the 100 air, I don't even know what to call it, we just call it the reserves. After you use the 100 reserves, it will take about 14 seconds to recharge. But this weapon also has 2 firing options, one of them being the vacuum cleaner, the other one being a ginormous blast, sending these zombies all the way to the moon. Now, I had never really used this second ability all that much because why would I? Vacuum cleaning all of these zombies is so satisfying and it is so easy. Why would I ever want to use this second firing mode? Well, after testing this weapon out and seeing where I would rank this on the list, this is an underrated firing mode because manglers are weak to napalm burst. This firing mode is pretty much napalm burst, and it will do a crap ton of damage towards manglers, and in the earlier rounds will kill them in an instant. Now, I created a chart of how many seconds it takes for the jet gun to refuel back to 100% on certain criterias. If you use the full blast mode on this weapon, it will take about 14 seconds for this weapon to fully recharge. If you use 50 fuel, it will take about 8 seconds to recharge back to full. And let's say you have only 20 fuel left in your reserves, it will take about 14 seconds to go back to 100. So it seems like the most efficient way of killing these zombies could be the blast radius, but it is up to the player, and most likely the vacuum cleaner is the better option. But I had a lot of fun using this blast mode, not knowing how good it was. The jet gun will receive the bronze medal. Moving on to the number 2 spot, the Wonder Waff. Now, there are things that the jet gun does a little bit better than the Wonder Waff. For example, the jet gun has infinite ammo, but if you have the right augments on some of your perks, you can have unlimited ammo to a limited ammo gun, making this weapon so much better than the jet gun. Now, what is the Wonder Waff? The Wonder Waff is pretty much Deadwire on steroids, with a bolt of lightning shooting from this weapon, traversing from enemy to enemy, shocking them and killing them slowly. This weapon is the most satisfying wonder weapon to use, and it never disappoints. With the jet gun, you are vacuum cleaning all of the zombies towards you, while with Wonder Waff, you can be at a safe distance and shoot all of these enemies and watch them slowly burn to a crisp. The only downside about the Wonder Waff is that it is not that good against special and elite enemies, but it really doesn't matter with the amount of zombies you're going to be killing with this wonder weapon. The doppelgas will not spawn in as often as you think. And with the Disciple, you are most likely not going to be using the Wonder Waff. You could probably use score streaks or any other methods of killing these things, but the Wonder Waff gets the silver medal. Moving on to the number 1 spot. Oh, I'm excited. The Staff of Ice. Pretty convenient that the base Staff of Ice is the worst wonder weapon, and then after upgrading that piece of shit, you get the best wonder weapon in all of Black Ops 6 thus far. After all the hard work you put yourself through to get this godly weapon, you are gifted with a weapon that makes the map so incredibly easy that you can use this weapon anywhere on the map and get to a decently high round without worrying about going down or losing any of your perks. So what does the Staff of Ice do? It has 2 firing modes. One is a single shot that will kill an enemy up to round 46 until you have to shoot him 2 times, but no one is using a single shot with this weapon. You are using the charged shot, unleashing a snowstorm, freezing any zombie and killing it in an instant, and slowing down every special and elite enemy while taking damage from their health bar. Though it does not do that much damage to them, it doesn't matter because you can keep spamming this weapon and they will eventually die a slow and agonizing death. This weapon does have limited shots, but thankfully for Vulture Raid, you ain't gotta worry about nothing. This weapon practically has unlimited ammo. I don't think I've gotten any lower than 50 shots in my life. This weapon easily outclasses every single wonder weapon on this list thus far, and it makes the game extremely easy. The Staff of Ice gets the gold medal. For all of you guys that stuck with me to the end of the video, thank you guys so much, and please let me know if you guys agree or disagree with anything on my list. Leave it down in the comment section below. Don't be shy. Hey, don't be shy. I'm friendly. I don't bite. This video took me a very long time, so if you guys would want to support me in any way, shape, or form, please leave a like. And if you guys would like to subscribe, I will post the best content that I can. If you guys want to spank my bells, hey, I will not stop you. Have a good one, guys. Take care.